Good day, subscribers, new YouTube viewers, and friends. It's me, Ranch, and now we're on to box 2 of Battle for Zendikar, and the hope to pull a Zendikar Expedition. So I've seen a lot of people have some great luck recently, just not me. So, oh. I wonder why they didn't put inserts in these boxes. Alright, we'll just do this like I did in the last video. Alright, I'll do my zoom trick and I will be back with you folks in a second. Alright, now for the first pack out of the box. Go straight to the uncommons and the rares. Transgress the Mind, Undo Rising, Retreat to Hagra, Desolation Wind to start off, 10 for 10/10. When you cast it, you get a 10/10 color, so it draws a creature token on the battlefield. Ooh. Foil. Zulaport Cutthroat. Retreat to Meria. Dampening Pulse. And we have a Bring to Light. So, search your library for a card, for a creature instead of sorcery card with convert mana cost less than or equal to the number of colors mana spent to cast this. Exile that card and shuffle your library. You may play that card without paying its mana cost. And our foil is a Culling Drone. Skyrider Elf, Encircling Fissure, Horrible Awry, and Aligned Hedron Network. Yeah, here it is. Woo! So it's a forecasting cost artifact, so when it enters the battlefield, exile all creature cards with power 5 or greater until this thing leaves the battlefield. Plains of the Plant. Foily. Firemantle Mage. Blighted Fen. I still want one of those in foil. Ulamog's Despoiler. And we have a Fathom Feeder. So it is a 1/1 for 1 blue and 1 black with Devoid, so it has no color and Death Touch, and Ingest. So when this deals combat damage to a player, exile the top card of his or her library. And for a 5, draw a card, each opponent exiles the top card of his or her library. And the foil is a Sure Strike. Pretty. Double foil pack. What did I do to be so lucky? Resolute Blade Master. Turn Against. We have a Molten Nursery, and I already see that our foil is green. So it's an ally encampment. So 1 colorless, tap to add 1 mana of any color to mana pool, and you spend it to cast allies, and then 1 colorless and tap, sack it, and return an ally control to its owner's hand. And the Jati Offshoot is our foil. Herald of Kozilek, Chasm Guile, Ruination Guide, March from the Tomb. So it is a sorcery for 3 colorless and a white and a black. Return any number of target allied creature cards with total converted mana cost 8 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Side Leopard, Tide Drifter, Infuse with the Elements, and a second aligned Hedron Network. Transgress the Mind, Stasis Snare, Bane of Balaged, and we have a Lantern Scout. 3/2 for 2 colorless and a white. It's a human ally with Rally, so whenever it or another ally enters the battlefield, under your control, creatures you control gain life, link until end of turn. Tunneling Geopede, Infuse with the Elements, Tide Drifter. We have a Planar Outburst. So it's a sorcery for 3 colorless and 2 white, and destroy all non-land creatures. And awaken 4, so for 8, you cast it and you put 4+1/+ counters on target land. It becomes a 0/0 elemental creature with haste, but it is still a land. Could be some fun. Bloodbond Vampire, Core Entanglers, Pathway Arrows, and Zeta Hedron Grinder. So it is a 3/3 for 3 colorless and a red. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell with the target's only this card, copy that spell for each other creature you control that spell could target. Each copy targets a different one of those creatures. Ooh, nice dragon token. Ooh, foil. Tajuru Warcaller, Herald of Kozilek, Ulamog's Reclaimer, and a Smoldering Marsh. Good times. And our foil is an Oran Reef Hydra. There is our foil rare, and I love Hydras, so you know what? I'm pretty pleased. And in true me fashion, I didn't turn off my phone. So I'm sorry about that, friends. Vile Aggregate, Deathless Behemoth, Coastal Discovery, and we have a Smothering Abomination. 4/3 for 2 colors and 2 black with Devoid, so it has no color. Flying, and at the end of your upkeep, sack a creature, and whenever you sack a creature, you draw a card. If I could choose which, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but if I could choose which expedition card to get, I want it to be a Windswept Heath. Tajuru Warcaller, Bladed Gorge, Core Blade Whirl. We have a Brutal Expulsion, So it's an instant speed for 2 colorless, a blue and a red, with Devoid, so it has no color. So choose one or both. Return target spell or creature to its owner's hand, and it deals 2 damage to target creature or planeswalker. If that permanent would be put into a graveyard, exile it instead. Expedition Envoy. Spawning Bed. That'd look cool in foil. Wind Rider Patrol. And, ooh, hello. Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger. Great mythic to start off with. So it's a 10/10 for 10. So whenever you cast it, exile 2 target permanents. And it's indestructible, so whenever it attacks, a defending player exiles the top 20 cards of his or her library. Good times. And a advertisement. Foil. Royal's Retribution. Titan's Presence. Molten Nursery. And we have a Shambling Vent. Good stuff. Enters the battlefield tapped. And then white and black. And then for 3, Shambling Vent becomes a 2/3 white and black elemental creature with lifelink until end of turn. It's still land. And our foil. Clutch of the Cards. Rising Miasma. Serene Steward. Crumble to Dust. And a rare, Oblivion Sower, the Mythic. So it's a 5/8 for 6. And whenever you cast it, target opponent exiles the top 4 cards of his or her library. And then you may put any number of land cards that player owns from exile onto the battlefield under your control. It was part of the dual decks, if you remember. Processor Assault, Hagra Sharpshooter, Jadi Offshoot, and we have the Felidar Sovereign, 4/6 for 4 and 2 white, Vigilance, Lifelink, and at the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 40 or more life, you win. Forerunner of Slaughter, excuse me. Retreat to Hagra. Cryptic Cruiser. Shrine of the Forsaken Gods, so it's a land, tap to add 1 colorless to your mana pool, and then you can tap it for 2, but spend it only to cast colorless spells. Activate this ability only if you control 7 or more lands. Angel of Renewal, Sylvan Scrying, Carrier Thrall, and we have a Serpentine Spike. So it's a sorcery for 5 and 2 red with Devoid, so it has no color. It deals 2 damage to target creature, 3 to another, and then 4 to a third. Creatures dealt this way would die, exile it. Stasis Snare, Rot Shambler, Ulamog's Nullifier, and Akum Firebird is a mythic. So it's a 3/3 for 2 and 2 red, flying haste, attacks each turn if able, and has landfall. So whenever land enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay 6. If you do, return it from your graveyard to the battlefield. Unified Front, Brood Monitor, Royal Spout, and Ugin's Insight. So it's a sorcery for 3 and 2 red. Scry X, where X is the highest converted mana cost among permanents you control, then draw 3 cards. Chasm Guide, Stab Hammer, Royal Spout, Obnixilis. So that's my second one. Maybe I should mail one to Milo. I think he'd like that. What do you think? Milo, come talk to me. So anyway, he's a 5 or 3 colorless, a 2 black planeswalker with 5 loyalty. The +1, you draw a card and lose 1 life. -3, destroy target creature. And the -8 is you get an emblem with whenever a player draws a card, you gain 2 life. Value. Grip of Desolation, Ulamog's Reclaimer, Pilgrim's Eye, Hero of Gomafada. So it is a 4/3 for 4 and a white with Rally, so whenever it or an ally at the end of the battlefield under your control, gains indestructible until end of turn. And a emblem for Gideon. Grove Rumbler, Akum's Stonewalker, Blighted Cataract, and a Duststalker. So it's a 5/3 for 2 and a black and a red with Devoid, so it has no color, and haste at the beginning of each end step. If you control no other colorless creatures, return Duststalker to its owner's hand. Alright, Scythe Leopard, Catacomb Sifter. Why does it look like a sliver to me? Oh. Retreat to Valakut. And our rare is a Beastcaller Savant. So it's a 1/1 for 1 black and a green with haste, and then tap to add 1 color of any color to your mana pool and spend it to cast creature spells. And our foil is a Breaker of Armies. Ooh. Plated Crusher, Adverse Conditions, Pilgrim's Eye, and the Munda Ambush Leader. So it's a 3/4 for 2 and a black, red and a white with haste. So Rally, whenever it or another ally enters the battlefield under your control, you may look at the top 4 cards of your library. If you do, reveal any number of ally cards among them and put those cards on top of your library in any order and the rest on the bottom in any order. Oh, wall of text. Murasa Ranger, Blighted Gorge, Breaker of Armies non-foil, and a Gul'Daraz Overseer. 3/4 for 4 and 2 black, so flying and the landfall ability, so when a land enters the battlefield under your control, other creatures get +1/+0. If it's a swamp, it gets +2/+0 until end of turn instead. Value. getting ahead of myself there. Tunneling Geopede, Vampiric Rites, Blighted Woodland, and we have Emeria Shepherd. It's a 4/4 angel for 5 and 2 white with flying and with a landfall ability, so when a land enters the battlefield under your control, you may return target non-land permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. If that land is a plains, you may return it to the battlefield instead. Sweet. Retreat to Kazandu. Drain his Emissary. There's my swamp. Retreat to Coral Helm. And Akum Hellkite. 4/4 for 4 and 2 red, flying, and the landfall ability, so when a land enters the battlefield under your control, it deals 1 damage to target creature or player. If that land is a mountain, it deals 2 damage instead. This is 7 packs left. Don't have a good feeling. Void Attendant, Forerunner of Slaughter, Halimar Tidecaller, and Drowner of Hope. 5/5 for 5 and a blue with the void, so it has no color. Drowner of Hope enters the battlefield. Put 2 1/1 colorless Eldrazi Scion tokens onto the battlefield. They have They have sack it to add 1 colorless mana to your mana pool. If you sack this, tap target creature. Zulapur Cutthroat. Cool. Rolling Thunder. Come on, you. Skitterskin. Hedron Archive. And a green Warden of Marusa. 5/4 for 4 and 2 green, so when it enters the battlefield, you may return target creature from your graveyard to your hand. When it dies, you may exile it. If you do, return target card from your graveyard to your hand. 5 packs to go. Core Entanglers, Tajuru Warcaller, Pathway Arrows, and we have an Exert Influence. Sorcery for 5 and a blue, so it has Converse, so gain control of target creature if its power is less than or equal to the number of colors of mana spent to cast this. Ooh. Rose Retribution, Blighted Step, Retreat to Emeria, we have Radiant Flames. Sorcery for 2 and a red, so with the Converge, so it deals X damage to each creature where X is the number of colors spent to cast it. Ooh, a foil pack. 3 packs. This is the third to the last pack, so I don't think it's going to be a good one. Herald of Kozilek, Blighted Gorge, Core Blade Whirl, and we have a Wasteland Strangler as our rare. It is a 3/2 for 2 and a black with Devoid, so it has no color. So when it enters the battlefield, you may put a card an opponent owns from exiled into that player's graveyard. If you do, target creature gets -3 until end of turn. And our foil, Stonehaven Medic. Ooh. Chasm Guide. Vampiric Rites, Ruination Guide, Endless One. So 0/0 for X, so it enters the battlefield with X +1/+1 counters on it. Very fun. Alright, last pack. Old Ranch strikes out again, guys. Grove Tender Druids, Core Blade Whirl, Dampening Pulse, and can we finish with a mythic? No, Veteran War Leader. So it is a star for 1 green and a white. So veterans, its power and toughness are equal to the number of creatures you control. Tap another untapped ally you control. It gains your choice of First Strike, Vigilance, or Trample until end of turn. And to Plains. Recap time. Not a bad box, actually. A lot of foils, but no expeditions. God, I hit 8 foils. Stonehaven Medic, Clutch of Currents, Culling Drone, Sure Strike, Breaker of Armies, Zulaport Cutthroat, Jotty Offshoot, and Ornate Reef Hydra was our foil rare. And then Brutal Expulsion, Smothering Abomination, Zada Hedron Grinder, Planar Outburst, Lantern Scout, Align Hedron Network, got 2 of those, March from the Tomb, Alliant Catman, Fathom Feeder, there's the other one. Bring to Light, Desolation Twin, Felidar Sovereign, Shrine of the Forsaken Gods, Serpentine Spike, Ugin's Insight, Hero of Gomafada, Duststalker, Beastcaller Savant, Munda Ambush Leader, Guldraz Overseer, Emeria Shepherd, Akum Hellkite, Drowner of Hope, Exert Influence, Radiant Flames, Veteran War Leader, Wasteland Strangler, Endless One. We got a Smoldering Marsh and a Shambling Vent, which is very good. Oblivion Sower was the first mythic, second mythic was Akum Firebird, third mythic was Green Warden of Marusa, fourth mythic was Ob Nixilis, and the fifth was Ulamog. So you know what? Pretty great mythics. So I can't complain too much. It could have been a whole hell of a lot worse. Thanks for watching, friends. Hopefully bring you some more cool stuff real soon.